Hello guys, welcome back, and today we're going to be talking about Fate Remnant Collide. And if you're wondering, I'm also going to be making another episode later on, specifically about Azure Lane Fallen Lord. So yeah, let's begin, shall we, ladies and gents? So, we would currently be in the perspective of our boy Whiteley, which, he's not an asshole. I actually feel kind of bad in the story. Like, I watched the the volume where Whiteley was introduced, and I actually feel bad for him, considering all the bullshit I has to go through. So I'm gonna make him somewhat not evil. I mean, he's definitely not gonna be evil in this series, especially since actually I won't be saying all that much because this is going to be a surprise tool that will help us later. But yeah. So, as we would currently see Whiteley going through the streets, taking down White Fang after another, as while doing so, he would see something in the distance. A massive explosion would happen. As he would say, "What was that?" he would say. As he would bring up his gun, the going into like a defensive stance. As he would start running up towards the direction of the explosion. As while this was happening, unbeknownst to him, he was being watched. It seems to be a servant. In fact, quite the unique one, in fact. As she's going up into the sky, watching him, as she would say, he seems worthy as my master, she would say. As after saying these words, she would jump down from the sky as she would land near, I guess you could say an alleyway where he's passing by, as she would say. So he's going to that explosion. Oh no. Don't tell me that Saber's doing her. Oh god, she would say. As while saying this, we would go to another perspective. We would currently see a few members of of Team Nebula. Not Team Nebula, I meant like a Team Indigo, I meant. As we would currently see our girl Nebula, aka the one with the purple hair and purple jacket, as she would be taking down a few White Fang members with the help of her team. While doing so, they would see something happening from nearby. They would see a few White Fang members getting ready to attack sorry about that, my throat. Nebula, getting ready to attack Nebula, but before they can, they would hear a clink sound. As they would look from the side and would see a large ass armored knight, and she would be wielding some sort of, I guess you could say, a woman with a large ass sword, which is blue and white. As flames, more specifically almost regular but slowly turning into bluish flames, as it would strike towards the White Fang members, instantly defeating them. As after she slew some of them, she would look towards Nebula, as Nebula would say, who are, as she would slowly approach her. As some of her team members would say, "Back off," she would say. As one of them being that of Dew would wield up her, not really a spear, it's actually a staff. As she would get ready to strike her down, as the woman would say, "I ask of you," she would say. As she would slam her sword onto the ground, saying, "Are you my master?" she would say, looking towards Nebula, revealing herself. After saying these words, Nebula would be surprised as she would say, "Wait, are you one of those servant things?" As she would say, "So you're perhaps some sort of mage as well?" she would say. As she would say, "Well, no, but my friend did tell me about," as after hearing these words, she would say, "So, you also have an ally, I see. Well then," as she would look towards the other girls, as she would say, "Are you perhaps," as she would say specifically that of Dew, "yeah, we're her friends." "Oh, so, as she would say, "Very well." As she would look up at, Nebula, as she would say, You may call me Fey Knight. Not Fey Knight, I meant. You may call me Tamlin. Tamlin Gawain, she would say. As she would wield up her sword, as she would say, I am your sword and shield, and I shall defeat those that dare stand before you, she would say. As after saying these words, she would say, uh, fine, but can you take care of the others? As she would look, or more specifically, Tamlin Gawain would look over and would see a few White Fang members looking at this, saying, God damn it, there's more of those guys, said one of them. As one with I guess you could say a foxtail would say, damn it, now we just need to take care of them first, said one wielding up a katana. As she would say, very well then, master. I shall take care of the nuisances, she would say, as blue chains would slowly start appearing from her other hand. As we would go back to Waitley, we will see, our boy Waitley as he's currently going through the streets again. This time taking care of more White Fang members, while also taking care of some of the civilians. Even though he wasn't a huntsman, he was still pretty good at fighting. Mostly thanks to him deciding to, on the side, to, let's just say, do some training. What do I mean by this? Well, from what I said last, like his first appearance, he's just sort of doesn't like his father, aka Jock. And so he wanted to become a huntsman, but unfortunately, because his father decided, yeah, you're going to be the new head of the Shnika Dust Company instead of his sister, because his sister is going to Beacon for now. Well, he decided to fuck off and decide to go to do some training. Mostly thanks to some of the guards that decided to help him train with firearms. And also, one of them, not descriptly, teach him how to fight with his legs. Sanji style. Because, more or less, I based him off, or at least I based the idea of Waitley's fighting style off both the prototype version and the current version of Sanji from One Piece. Yeah, apparently in the original One Piece known as Romance Dawn, Sanji was not a chef, but instead a cowboy that uses guns. So that is why I decided to give him more this, I guess you could say, this type of fighting style. As while Waitley is going to the city, he would notice something from above him. As he would see a little girl. Reveal a platinum blonde girl with golden eyes and wielding what seemed to be sheaths as gauntlets, as she would float down saying, Servant, Lancer, which I don't know why she's Lancer. Wait, Lancelot. Fey Knight oh my fucking god, no, it did not, okay, this is a joke. I despise it. Okay. Anyway, continuing on, I just realized why she's called Lancelot, or Fey Knight Lancelot, even though she doesn't use a lance. Oh boy! Anyway, continuing on, as the now girl wielding that of what seemed to be sheaths as gauntlets and wearing bluish armor, as she would float down towards Waitley, as she would say, Servant, Lancer, you may call me Tamlin Lancelot, she would say, walking up to him, as Waitley would start walking back, as he would say, wait, who are you, he would say, as he would say, or she would say, so, may I ask of you this, are you my master, she would say, as slowly something would slowly start happening to his hand, revealing that of a blue command seal. As when he saw this, he would say, what is this? As he would try to scratch it off him, as she would say, so, it seems that you are my master then. Allow me to tell you this. A war is coming, and we should prepare. And and let us ready for this war, she would say. After saying these words, Whiteley would say, I'm confused. What the heck is going on? He would say. As before he can continue talking, a few white members would say, Look, it's a fucking Schnee! Get him! After saying that, the Lancelot, or Tamlin Lancelot, would say, Master, what are my commands? She would say. As he would say, commands? As he would look towards a few White Bank members, as he would say, I guess, help me out with this. As after saying these words, she would say, very well, she would say. As she would get ready her gauntlets, as they would start flaring up with bluish energy. Wait for a second. As after saying these words, Waitley would charge in as he would start firing and kicking at some of the White Fang members. And as for her, she would start activating her weapons. As the two sheath-like gauntlets would slowly start coming together and forming into some sort of blade. As they would start twirling like a helicopter, as she would rush in, slicing some of the White Fang members but not killing them. As while seeing this, Waitley would say, don't kill them, he would say, as she would say, very well, orders. As she would say, as she would retract some of the blades, or should I say sheaths, as she would start using them as like, I guess you could say a guitar, as in, like, those, sword gauntlets, essentially. As she would slice some of them, but not fatally, so they won't get killed. As while doing so, a massive explosion would erupt nearby. Again, as she would say, God damn it, Gawain, she would say. As after saying these words, she would think to herself, so, where are you, Fey Knight Tristan? She would say. As while saying these words, we would go to another perspective. We would currently go back to Walter, as Walter is walking towards somewhere, as right in front of him was that of our girl named Cinder. As Cinder would look up at him, as she would say, oh, it really has been a while, Walter, she would say. As after saying this, as Walter would say, yeah, I know. As he would drop off his, well, iconic accent. As she would say, what, are you going to say rootin' tootin' or something, she would say? As he would say, whatever, he would say. As after saying that, he would look towards the servant right beside her, being that of Berserker, as Berserker would say, so, you're one of her allies? But why did you attack? As he would say, I was trying to pretend to be allies with them. For now, let's just hurry up. I want to get my revenge soon, he would say. As after saying these words, she would say, you also want to have revenge? As he would say, yes. But I also need... So, as he would look towards the flaming woman, aka, Cinder, as he would say, so, what about our mistress? How's my sister, he would say. As she would say, oh, don't worry, Watts is already taking care of her. He's been working on a medicine for her for a while now, and since that this Holy Grail War, which I've been talked about by our mistress, it has been pretty much easy to get the idea on what type of medicine we should give her. As after hearing that, he would say, good. Anyway, so what is my next objective? As she would say, oh, nothing. I just need you to take care of some problems. As she would bring up a file, revealing that of Rex, as he would say, so, I'm gonna kill my old buddy, he would say. As she would say, oh, no, don't kill him. Capture him. Sorry about that. No, 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 no. Don't capture him. Just don't kill him. And so we will end off this episode right off here. So yeah, bye-bye!